as jam-packed as possible. But what I want to do next is I now want to go ahead and make a way up to the top of this. Now, I have an idea for this. We're going to have to take out all of this stuff. Basically, what it's going to be is I'm going to make this a entrance right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to carry this stone along this wall, and then that's going to be the separator, because I want this part to be a lot more natural. I want this to be sort of a cave of some sort, because what it's basically going to do is it's going to come from here. Let me dig this out real quick like that. Oop, actually, whoops, I actually can't dig this out, so let's put all this back in here. I'll fill that back in afterwards, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to be a cave from like probably actually right here. It's going to take sort of a sharp turn, but it's going to be a cave that goes up like this in like a curved way, and it's going to come out right around, I want to say here, basically right here. And now this is going to tie in really well for our island. So at the end of this episode, the thing that we're going to end off is we're going to make the separation between this dirt and this stone more natural. We're going to do all of that. But in next episode, guys, be prepared for that one, because that's when we're going to make this entire island more naturalized. There's going to be trees, maybe a house or two, so that's when the whole island is really going to come together. But right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the materials for this. I do believe I have enough stone for it. It's pretty simple. Basically, we're just going to make a little cave. I have plenty of experience with making caves, so this shouldn't be too difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those materials, and then we'll jump into building this together. So guys, I say this is pretty simple, but for a lot of you guys, I realize that when I say something is simple, it's most of the time pretty difficult for a lot of you. So I know I understand that I build a lot, so it comes really easy to me, but you guys gotta realize that that's really where it comes down to, is just I build so much, is that's the reason why. So what I'm gonna do first is we're just gonna start laying down blocks. Now I'll make everything look a little bit more naturalized after, but I want to get basically my shape to my thing set right now. So I want to basically get how steep this, it's going to be a relatively steep staircase because it's going to have to go pretty abruptly up to the top. So basically, let's go dig this thing out. I should probably go grab my shovel for this. So I'm going to go grab that and clear the weather. So I'm actually super excited for next episode. Like, I wish I could do everything that I said I was able to do in this episode, but time is just, it's just not there for me. Like, it takes me so much time to do each episode. Like, those little time lapses that are like a minute long or something like that, you guys don't realize that that's like 2-3 hours of building all condensed down into a minute. Like, it's just a lot of building that I just like to condense down into a minute, because if I made the time lapse any longer, it wouldn't be as cool looking. So that's why I do that. So right now I'm just sort of making a staircase, trying to get some shape to it. And realistically, building caves, it's all about just throwing something down, because you really can't get anything to look nice if you don't have something to work with. So right now, I'm really like, these blocks are relatively random. I'm just trying to get some sort of curvature to the side of the wall, and I'll go back after the fact and clean it up a lot more. Like, I want to basically just give myself a little bit of a hollow tunnel all the way up to the top, and then give myself the chance to go back afterwards. Like these lapis blocks, I can easily take a lot of this out. I'm used to doing caves more when I'm not adding the blocks, when I'm more of subtracting. That's the way I like to do my caves, but in this scenario, I'm going to have to go ahead and just do this. So right now, I'm doing sort of flat walls that I can turn into walls with more depth afterwards, but I really just want to give myself, again, something to like work with before the fact that I actually go back and do it. So I'm going to continue doing this, get to the point where we're going to start making it a little bit more detailed, and then we will go ahead and just finish it off together. So I've got basically all the walls up, but what I think I'm really going to do is getting shape for this is all about playing with the blocks. So I think I need to give myself a little bit of time to just play with the blocks, because I could just sit here and start placing blocks, but I'm really not going to get the whole shape perfect unless I just work at it for maybe like 20 to 15 minutes. So I don't really just want to have me just rolling for 20 to 15 minutes of me doing this. So I think what I'm going to do is cut. I'm going to go ahead and just play with this till I find myself a perfect shape. And then after the fact, we can go back and we can do some texturing. So I want to put some cobblestone and some andesite in there. And now as of like 2 days ago, not even 2 days ago, like a day ago, did not know that you can actually get andesite, diorite, granite on here, because I didn't realize that it was craftable. I didn't realize that it was a craftable item. So that means that we're going to be able to do some texturing of the entire island. Now, I'm not going to do that in today's video. I'm going to probably do that in next episode of this because it's going to take me a very long time, but it's going to be well worth it because I think the texturing is just really what I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and play with this, and then after the fact, again, we can come back and I will detail with you guys. Alright, and so I found a shape that I sort of like. Now, it could use a little bit of work, but I think after we detail it, it's going to be a lot more, I guess, resembling of a cave. Right now, it looks pretty good, and also when, in the next episode, when we turn this all into a beautiful landscape, I think that'll also make it come together as well. So, first things first, I guess I'm going to walk through the steps a little bit with you guys of how I really transform caves like this, but real quick, I need to go grab some clay because I forgot about the clay. So here's some clay. Now, first things first is I really want to make this transition right here a little more smooth. As you can see, it's really just abrupt. So, the way I would do that is I would just start, I guess, finagling blocks into it. So, let's grab some stone like this. So, like, I would change this block, maybe this block into some of that. Maybe I can't actually change any of these blocks. So, it's really all about these blocks. So, I would change probably just those blocks into some green stained clay. Now that kind of gives it a little of effect like it's fading into it. Now, next what we're going to do is I want to start to replace everything with grass. Now, this is because this grass is basically going to lead all the way up there anyways, so why not just place it in here now? So, place it maybe one block up on the wall as well. So, I'm going to go here, replace every single block that I believe is needed to replace with grass, and I'll catch you guys after. Now I've gathered all the grass into the blocks that I think will work. Now it flows, in my opinion, a lot better because you can really separate the floor from the walls. Now, in next episode, before next episode, I'm going to do a little off-camera work. I'm actually going to turn this entire area into grass, whether that means letting it spread on its own or me hand placing all of these blocks. But by next episode, this will all be turned into grass, so it'll look a lot better. But now that we have this empty area that's now just grass, now I'm going to take some more detailing blocks, like our cobblestone slabs, maybe some cobblestone, get some andesite. I have some polished andesite. That should be basically everything. So, the way I really use this stuff, slabs can go like here and there like that. We can go ahead and texture all these walls like this. So, I'm really just basically just placing blocks where I find it to be really blank. Now, you can see this wall looks just slightly better by just adding that little bit of change. So, that's really what I do. I can even add some of these cobblestone in here. Basically, that's really what I do when I do this, is I just place blocks where, like, you can see this blank wall is sort of planned, so I do, like, almost like a diagonal pattern. Just replace a couple of the blocks. Maybe I'll even replace this block and this block, both with the smooth andesite. It really just adds a lot of texture, and you can see that this really intense line on the outside of this really creates this separation and really splits up the texture. So that's basically the whole point of texturing, is just to split up the textures, make things look a little bit more appealing and a lot more interesting. So I'm really going to go play with this. It's really about just playing with it. I'm going to play with this, find which blocks I like to that go where, and then I will catch you guys back after that. So next thing that I would like to do is I want to make the transition for all this stuff a little bit more smooth, and I'm just going to do this with some just simple slab placement. Now, I'm really going to try not to overdo it, because I mean, I don't really mind if I have to hop up that, but like places like this, if I can just create like one straight path. Now, I can't really do too much about that unless I want to take this block out, which that could actually work. Yeah, that'll work for me, in my opinion. That one, let's actually take this block out as well right here. Make just maybe like a little straight path up, to be honest with you, and then like that. So that's basically how that'll go. Maybe throw, actually that looks like it's good enough for me. Actually, I want to take this guy out because I just feel like these are in a weird position. Maybe I'll throw one right there because that's kind of empty. Yeah, that basically works. So now you can see that there's now more of a path that goes all the way up. Now what I want to do before we end with this is, again, I want to texture everything, so I'm going to have to throw in, throw in some of this coarse dirt like that. And now coarse dirt is great because, you know, it doesn't change back into regular dirt, so that's why I really enjoy it. Throw it on the sides. I really don't want to get too much into the middle because I feel like that would overpower things. Maybe just throw like one or two in the middle, but I really just want to keep it as subtle as possible Wait for that block to break. There's a lot of block lag on here recently. Everybody's been killing it with the support on this server. Like, I'm just astonished with how many people are on this server day in and day out. And I mean, I should understand that 2 huge YouTubers play on this, or actually 4. I think there's one on every server now. I think there's Wild now. There's Fitz on Ancient, Noboom's on the End one, and then obviously Rusher is on Utopia. So that should basically do it for texturing this part. Maybe, yeah, that should look good. So now we have to do our last step. Our last step is adding foliage. That's like one of the more important things. And now, adding foliage, I never really try to add it into the middle. I don't want to overpower too many things. One thing that I do not have any of, which I do need to grab a little bit of, is I do need to grab a little bit of maybe some leaf blocks, as well as, I think that's enough flowers, as well as some of these blocks down here, some of these grass blades and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that. I think we'll just grab some shears and some bone meal and get that done. Now for the leaf type, I'm not 100% sure what type of leaf I would like. I think we're just going to go with probably oak leaves. So let's grab ourselves an oak sapling. And let's do birch saplings to really contrast that as well. I mean, it won't contrast it too much, but it'll contrast a little bit. And then where's our bone meal? Grab some of that. So that's basically how it is. I'm going to go ahead, collect some of this stuff up, and then I think we should be good to just go ahead and throw this in here. And then we can go ahead and do our final time lapse. So now I think we might even add just one more flower. I think we're probably going to add it sort of like here, just so it's right in the center. But we've got our leaf blocks. We've got our grass. We can throw some grass here. One thing that we do like to do, I need to go grab some glowstone for this, but I like to use leaves as a way of hiding my glowstone, because I just think that since it's a full block, it can hide it really well. So like right here, it's going to get really dark at night, but if I go like that, and then like that, now we have some of that, and maybe some of that on top. So now it really just sort of fits. Maybe I can even throw some of that to surround around the outside. So basically, I just throw leaf blocks in either on the ceiling or on spots on the side, like right there wouldn't work too bad like that. I try to alternate between leaves like that. Maybe could go like that. Basically, I just play with the blocks. That's really how I build, is I just play with blocks, find which ones look like they could go in certain places. Like that's awful placement for a block. So maybe if I took this out instead and put a block there, that would work a lot better. Like that looks pretty good. So basically, building is just all about the placement of blocks, all about playing with different placements of blocks, just really getting yourself some blocks to play with. So let's go ahead, break these bad boys. Those are in weird spots. Maybe break this, and those are being weird. Oh, I broke that block. So let's go ahead, put ourselves a piece of dirt back right there. And I think this is pretty much good, I think, in my opinion. I think that we have found the right placement for a lot of these blocks, and ended off with one more there. Just add in a couple of these, and that looks pretty good in my opinion. So I think this is where we're going to go ahead and transition back to, I guess, playing more with around the outside edges of the island. So let's go do one more last walkthrough up through here, see our finished product. I don't like how that doesn't walk all the way up like that. So let's go ahead and take this guy out like so. And that looks a little bit more smooth like that. And there we go. That works totally for me. So basically, in the next episode, we're going to do sort of this whole thing right here to this entire island. But right now, we're going to jump back into another time lapse, really start to smooth out the transition between these two guys, really just play with probably just some, I guess, coarse dirt, some regular dirt, maybe even some cobblestone or gravel or something. I don't know. We'll see how it works, but I'm going to jump into the time lapse right now. Hope you guys enjoy. So hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. This is where we're going to bring this episode to the end, and be sure to tune into next episode. We're going to make sure that this entire island behind me looks an awful lot like down here, and hopefully next episode we can complete another challenge or two. We haven't really been able to do any challenges because the 3 other challenges that we have left are pretty difficult to do, to be honest with you. We may have to spend some cash to get some of them done, so hopefully we can get those done in the future. So that is where this episode is going to come to again. As always, guys, I love you all. See you guys later. Peace out.